It is week number 6 of the high school football season, and tonight, the Bombers of Kenston have made the short trek up to Titletown to take on your Chardon Hilltoppers. How you doing, everyone? Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you. And Ryan, this is a huge game tonight. So much at stake between these two teams. Both the Bombers and the Hilltoppers coming in undefeated 5-0 records. What's at stake tonight is the winner stays alive in the race to be conference champion, and very likely the winner of this game will also be number 1 next week in the Region 9 or Division 3 Region 9 computer point standings.
Yeah, so there's a lot at stake, and everyone knows the history of these two programs down there today. I mean, Hilltopper state champions last year, Kenston state champions 3 years ago. A lot of good history there. Both teams are ready to go right at each other tonight, and this is a game where even more important than usual, take care of the football, limit the penalties. A team that doesn't do so well in that regard is probably a team that's going to have trouble winning this game.
Kenston has overcome a lot of adversity this year to be 5-0. One of the big questions is going to be at the quarterback position tonight. It's going to be likely a game-time decision from the Bombers between their normal starter, Nico Giorgio, who's been battling a finger injury, and then his backup, who's really the wide receiver, J.P. Germano, who has not necessarily thrown a pass from the quarterback slot, but has run the football out of basically a wildcat formation. He has topped nearly 500 yards in 2 weeks. So the big question is, can the Hilltopper defense step up and shut Germano down if he's going to be the guy running out of the backfield?
Yeah, it's going to be a test for them tonight. They've been tested before with that tough schedule. You know, Hilltoppers have come over some adversity. They've weathered a couple storms this year. Kenston, coming off their most adverse moment of the year, come from behind win over Lake Catholic in the second half last week. So both teams battle-tested, both teams 5-0, both teams really good programs. It's going to be an exciting night tonight.
Good news for the Hilltoppers is they are fully healthy tonight. They've got a couple guys back who were out last week, so this should be a great game for Chardon as they are full go.
Yeah, you know, especially you get Simon back on the offensive line. That's going to help that unit a little bit as we get headed into what is going to be a big game tonight at Kenston. That's probably going to be run in the trenches, so good to have the offensive line getting back a little bit there.
Well, folks, we are going to send it now down to the field where the band is going to celebrate Senior Band Night.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight is a very special evening for our band. We only have 3 home games left, regular season, including this evening. And all the way up here, seniors, all the way up. Move up. Everybody move all the way up. So we only have 3 more home games, including tonight. And next game is homecoming, and then football and cheerleader seniors. So tonight, we're recognizing our marching band members, topperettes, majorettes. Our first senior is also on the homecoming court this year. Josie Aiken is being escorted this evening by her parents, Elise and Doug Aiken, and her brother, Max. Keep walking. Josie is a 4-year member, our band president this year, bell squad leader, and drumline section leader. After graduation, she plans to attend Bowling Green or Case Western Reserve University. Her advice to underclassmen is don't sweat the small stuff, remember to have fun, and just keep trying. Lizzie Beaubien is walking the 50 tonight with her mom, Nellie Evan, her dad, Keith Beaubien, and her sister, Maggie. She has been in marching band for 3 years and is a topperette this year. After graduation, Lizzie hopes to major in engineering at a 4-year college. Her advice is to live in the moment and don't let little things distract you. Noah Best is being escorted tonight by his parents, Tracy and Gary Best, and is a member of the drumline in the cymbals section. After graduating from CHS, Noah plans to study marine biology at Ohio University. His advice is to just keep smiling. Samantha Brown is walking the 50 tonight with her parents, Christy Brown and Steve Brown. She has been a topperette for 2 years and is on the dance team this year. She plans to attend college for forensic chemistry. She would like to tell the underclassmen that it's never too late to try something new. Carissa Clark is also on the homecoming court and is being escorted this evening by her parents, Christine and Stephen Clark, and her brother, Charlie. She's a 4-year member of the flute section and has been a squad leader for 3 years. She plans to attend college and pursue a career in occupational therapy. Her advice is to not deprive yourself from happiness at the expense of other people's perceptions. Lindsay Craig is walking the 50 tonight with her mom, Kim Craig, and her dad, Dan Bowes. Lindsay is one of the captains of the dance team and has been a top rep for 4 years. After graduation, she plans to attend college and study interior design. Her advice is to take advantage of every moment in high school because it goes by very quickly. Ava Daniel is being escorted by her parents, Gretchen and Michael Daniel. Ava is a 4-year member of the Hilltopper Marching Band and is a trumpet squad leader. She plans to attend a public 4-year college after graduation, and her advice to underclassmen is to always try new things. Tyler Edwards is walking the 50 tonight with his parents, Brad and Nicole Edwards. Tyler is a first-year member of the marching band in our saxophone section. His advice to underclassmen is definitely join marching band before your senior year because it's a great experience and one you're going to want to have all through high school, and make sure you know how to play an instrument. Carly Fleiter is being escorted this evening by her mother, Kelly Fleiter, and her father, Joe Fleiter. Carly has been a top rep for 3 years and is a member of the dance team this year. She plans to go to college for accounting. Her advice is to get involved with clubs and sports that you are passionate about. Lauren Garabrandt is walking the 50 with her mom, Andrea, and her dad, John. Lauren has been a majorette for 2 years. She plans to attend college to become a veterinary technician and then move somewhere with warmer weather. How smart she is. Her advice is try out for teams even if you're not sure you'll make it. She knows from experience that you'll regret it if you wait too long or never even try. Mitzi Gideon is being escorted this evening by her mom, Jenny Kelly, her dad, Russ Kelly, and her brother, Tyler Gideon. She is a 4-year member of the clarinet section and is a squad leader. She plans to earn a 4-year degree at either Kent State or Ohio University. Her advice is to the clarinet and flute sections, keep playing even though most of the audience can't hear you. Miranda and Madison Henson are walking the 50 tonight with their parents, Jennifer and Sean Henson. Miranda is a 2-year member of the trumpet section, and Madison is a first-year member of the Toperettes. Madison plans to attend college and to earn a degree in architecture and a minor in interior design. Miranda plans to attend a college in Ohio for a degree in criminal justice with a minor in Spanish. Their advice is to not wait to join extracurricular activities until your senior year. They wish they would have joined marching band sooner because it's a lot of fun and you get to make a lot of new friends. Joseph Joquin is being escorted this evening by his parents, Denise and John Joquin, and his brother, Daniel. Joseph is a 4-year member of the trumpet section, a squad leader, a section leader, and is our pregame field commander. He plans to attend the University of Akron for chemical engineering, and his advice is to make the most out of marching band because you only get 4 years. Theo Johns is walking the 50 this evening with their parents. Amy Roediger and Kelly Johns, and his sister Charlotte is in the band. Theo is a 4-year member of our trumpet section and is a squad leader. They plan to attend college, possibly majoring in environmental science. Their advice is to have fun in marching band because the time goes by so fast. Christopher Castor is being escorted by his parents, Sharon and Albert Castor. Chris has been a member of the trumpet section for 4 years and is a squad leader. He plans to pursue a degree in engineering at either the University of Cincinnati or University of Akron. His advice is to not take high school for granted. It'll be over before you know it. Alana Kolick is walking the 50 this evening with her dad, Tim Kolick. She is a 4-year member of Toperettes and is a dance team captain this year. Alana plans to attend college and pursue a career in the medical field. Her advice to underclassmen is to join as many clubs as possible. Michael Molesky is being escorted tonight by his parents, Michelle and Daniel Molesky, and his brothers, Tim and Joe. He is a 4-year member and has played sousaphone as well as the alto and bari saxes in marching band. Michael is our halftime field commander this year and is also a squad leader and section leader. He plans to attend Cleveland State to major in music therapy. Sarah Mitchell is walking the 50 with her parents, Jenny and Brian Mitchell. Sarah has been a Toperette for 3 years and is on the dance team this year. After graduation, she plans to attend college for interior design. Sarah's advice to underclassmen is to get open campus so you can take good naps. Kelly Morris is walking the 50-yard line with her mom, Tamara Heron, and is a first-year Toperette on the dance team. Kelly plans to attend college and major in fine arts. Liam Richards is being escorted this evening by his parents, Brenda and Sean Richards, and his sister, Sadie. Liam is a trombone squad leader, section leader this year, as well as senior band representative. He plans to go to college and study biology or entomology. His advice to underclassmen is for everybody to have fun tonight, and most importantly, don't stop believing. Agostino Rosales is walking the 50 this evening with his mom, Regina Rosales, and his stepdad, Mike McDonald's. Augie is a 3-year member playing clarinet and tenor sax. He plans to attend college after high school and possibly major in aeronautical engineering. His advice to underclassmen is to not take everything so seriously all the time. Connor Rosick is being escorted tonight by his mom, Judith Rosick, and his dad, Leon Rosick. Connor is a 4-year member on our drumline, playing quints this year and serving as a drumline section leader. He was band council representative his freshman and sophomore years. Connor plans to join the workforce under an internship or maybe attend college. His advice is to not stress about things you can't change. You will make mistakes, and that's okay. Angelina Santamaria is walking the 50 tonight with her parents, Holly and Jason Santamaria. She's a 2-year member of the Toprettes and is planning to attend Ohio University to study in their archaeology program. Her advice is don't procrastinate in planning for college. Dee Dee Sonkrant is being escorted this evening by her parents, Donna and Jason Sonkrant. Dee Dee is a 4-year member of our trombone section. She plans to attend college and major in biology. Her advice is just do it. What's the worst that can happen? Nathan Tager, also on the homecoming court, is walking the 50 with his parents, Gene and Jay Tager. Nathan is a 4-year member of the marching band on tenor saxophone. He plans to attend college for orthodontic dentistry. His advice to underclassmen is do your work when you get it. Don't procrastinate or you'll be in a bit of a pickle. Work hard at everything you do. Thomas Tomash is being escorted this evening by his parents, Clay and Jennifer Tomash. Thomas is a 3-year member of the Hilltopper Marching Band in our clarinet section. His plans next year include college to study psychology and game design. His advice is to make sure you have extra instrument lyres because they are cheap and break easily. And last but certainly not least, we have Jason Watson walking the 50-yard line tonight with his parents, Todd and Michelle Watson. Jason is a 4-year member of the Hilltopper Marching Band in our alto saxophone section, where he has served as a squad leader and a section leader. Jason plans to attend the University of Akron and study mechanical engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an outstanding class the last 4 years. They've been through a lot, obviously, the last 2 years. We're going to miss their leadership and their musicianship. Could we please have a hand for the band class of 2022?
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the 2021 Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band.
The band is being led onto the field by senior drum major Joseph Jokin. As the band gets closer, you may notice that we have some extra band members tonight. A big shout out to our talented 8th grade band members for performing pregame with the marching band this evening. All right, Topper fans, put your hands together for the Chardon High School Fight Song. Would you now please stand if you are able, and gentlemen, remove your hats as we honor our country with the national anthem and remain standing for the Chardon High School alma mater. football on television, you've heard this high-powered and explosive theme song. Here is the NFL on Fox. All right, Hilltoppers, put your hands together for the Hey Song. And let's give a round of applause for our 8th grade band members. Ladies and gentlemen.
And here come your defending state champion and Western Reserve Conference champion, Chardon Hilltoppers. How you doing, everyone? Matt Jaworski and Ryan Radke with you. Ryan, for a Week 6 matchup, it does not get any bigger than this. Both these Geauga County teams coming in undefeated at 5-0, but throw that out the window because, most importantly, this is the rivalry game.
Yeah, this has become a big one over the years, and the past few years have been very friendly to the Hilltoppers in this matchup. Matt, 6 out of the last 7 have gone Chardon's way, and they look to continue that here tonight. And you talk about not only are both teams 5-0 important in the conference standings, but you know, you take a look up there, they sit 1-2 Division III Region 9 right now, so important on their side as in the playoff side as well here.
Absolutely, a ton at stake tonight. Now, that being said, folks, do remember, as in years past, it was the top 8 teams who made the playoffs. It's not our place to judge what the OHSAA decided to do, but it is 16 teams that have made the field tonight. I haven't mathematically run the numbers yet, but based on the fact that the team in 16th place has 4 points and Chardon has nearly 12, Kenston has 12, it's very likely the winner tonight clinches, and I wouldn't be surprised if whoever falls in this game clinches as well and secures a playoff berth.
Yeah, so there's new things that we look at now, and it's 16 teams instead of 8. You really badly want to get in the top 4 because the first 2 weeks you're at home. So you want to finish 1 through 4. Both these teams have a good shot, but I mean, winning this game, again, I don't do the math, winning this game would lend one to believe that that team kind of secures themselves home field the first 2 weeks of the playoffs. So these are the new things we look at now as the playoffs are expanded. And, you know, we all try to adjust to a new way of watching the great prognosticators like Joe Eitel's website as we head down the stretch here.
Well, the Hilltoppers coming off a big win against Mayfield, a game where they thoroughly demolished the Wildcats by a 41-7 score, and it was really the breakout night for Alex Henry.
Yeah, you know, he had a big game. He's had big plays in his first year. I remember a big 50-yard touchdown run late against Riverside comes to mind, but, you know, 3 touchdowns on the ground, 1 passing touchdown last week. You know, Alex Henry really came out, and he shined through a week ago against Mayfield, and you know, they're going to look to keep that going today. The Hilltoppers have some reinforcements getting back on the offensive line here, Matt, and that should certainly help the situation.
It absolutely should. Now, on the other side of the field, the Bombers coming in off a come-from-behind victory against Lake Catholic, a game that, in all reality, Kenston was trying to give away in the first half with a plethora of mistakes.
Yeah, something that, you know, the Bombers want to make sure they clean up. In the first half, they set their defense back. They had a pick 6 that turned into a short field, or an interception that turned into a short field, and 6 points later for Lake Catholic. And they had trouble with a punt that turned into another short field and a touchdown for Lake Catholic and put their team behind. But, you know, they've got injuries on the offensive side of the football, and the Bombers still battled back and got themselves that victory over Lake Catholic a week ago. Of course, Cougars, a team that was in the state championship game last year. So that was a big win for the Bombers and a good test for them a week ago.
And make no mistake about it, Lake Catholic, despite the fact they're now 1-4, that's still a decent football team. It's not a rollover. And for Kenston to come back down multiple scores in the fourth quarter, nonetheless, folks, that speaks a lot about this offense, with also adding the fact that they were using a backup QB in JP Germano. Tagger will kick it off. Far left side, fielded around the 10. Coming left side, 20, 25, 30. Ball on the ground, scooped up by the Bombers. Wow. Lucas Simons coughed up the football, and I believe he recovered it.
Yeah, you know, before the game, when we spoke with Coach Grubich, the thing he said to us was, we need to take care of the football tonight. That was not taking care of the football. On the first play, fortunately, the Bombers, they were able to fall on that. But good work by the Hilltoppers to almost force a turnover there, force the fumble.
And now the big question's about to be answered. And look at that, JP Germano coming in as QB. So Germano, the game time decision to start tonight does not mean we will not see Nico Georgiou, but look for Germano to really run the football a lot tonight, as he has the last 2 nights. Said he's going to hand it off to his running back, who gets hit at the line immediately, number 31, Sean Patrick. Excuse me, Ryan. Let's run down the Bombers starting lineup here real quick. We're going to see J.P. Germano in at QB, the running back Sean Patrick, wide receivers Thomas O'Brien, Jimmy Richmond, Tamir Chardon, and the tight end Carson Riviera-Jabreau. We'll get the offensive line next for you. Germano looking in from the sideline for the signal while he gets it. Comes set, three receivers right. He's going to hand off again, Patrick, who's nearly wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Instead, was able to forge ahead for about 4 or 5 yards there, up near the 38-yard line. But the rest of the offensive line for Kenston includes the center Garrett Euler. On the right side, Aiden Vanderbilt and Sean Doyle. The guys on the left side, the left guard Connor Klusner and Cale Doyle, the left tackle. 3rd down and 1 from the 38. And Chardon thinks they got Kenston to jump.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of false motion there by Cohen Clark.
Hilltoppers on the front line. We're going to see guys subbing in and out, but for the vast majority of the night, we're going to see Alex Kisley, Michael Washington, Cooper Felger, and Alex McDonald. Maybe a little bit of TJ Altman as well up front on that top 3. In the linebacking core, Heath Fetchick, Brody Dotson, Ryan Peterson, and Rocco Perico. The secondary, Trey Liebhart, AJ Bruce, Leo Columbi, and Nathaniel Solka. 3rd and 6 now from the 33. They fake the handoff. Germano looking to dump it off, and he misses. Sean Patrick was trying to dump it off to him in the flank, but could not make a good pass, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, good pressure back there. Heath Fetchick hit him right as he threw. Good work by the Hilltopper defense. And look, the Bombers set themselves back. You don't want to do that tonight. They got to 3rd and 1. That false start set up a 3rd and 6, changed some things, and Topper's able to take advantage with a good defensive play and get the punt team out there.
So the Bombers getting ready to punt the football. Parker Monday, who, while he's a really good punter, he is, in my opinion, a Division I college recruit as a kicker. The snap goes over his head, and he's going to pick it up, and he does kick it out. It will take a Kenston bounce across midfield and be touched up on the 48-yard line. Kenston, sloppy mistakes on their opening possession.
Well, the Bombers avoided disaster there, Matt, but that has to feel like deja vu for everyone over on the Kenston side because they had trouble with the punt in the first half a week ago, gave the Cougars a short field. Lake Catholic came down to score, and here, Hilltoppers get to start with a short field.
How about Parker Monday, though? He has the wherewithal to pick it up, run to his right, and get that kick off. A lot of other kickers would have kicked it out of the end zone or just fell on it for a safety.
As you were saying, he will probably be punting collegiately.
Topper's going to run the ball up the middle. Carr, nowhere to go. Maybe a couple yards on that run will be brought down shy of midfield.
These two teams are going to run right at each other tonight, Matt. A lot going to go on between the tackles, and they're really going to try to wear each other down.
Toppers nearly full strength on the offensive line, of course. Matthew Organisek out for the year with that knee injury, but TJ Altman has been pretty good as a backup to Organisek. We'll get you the rest of that line in just a second here. Henry sends a man in motion. Will give it, and going left side, I think that was Ryan Peterson. It was, as he goes out across the 45-yard line, just shy of the 1st down. Offensive line for the Hilltoppers, left to right. Adam Jackson, Simon Rodriguez, Aiden Ishii, Logan Bryan, and TJ Altman. Going to see Alex McDonald as the tight end. Nathaniel Salka, a wide receiver tonight. We'll also see Ethan Gaspard and Caden Dawson. The running backs, just pick them. It's going to be Ryan Peterson, Rocco Perico, Sean Carr, Daniel Pettyjohn, maybe Trey Liebhart as well. And of course, Alex Henry in at QB. Flags coming out, wave that play off.
Yeah, the Hilltoppers are walking backwards. It's a false start there, so both teams here on their first possession hurt themselves on 3rd down with the false start.
Kenston will play 3 down linemen, Jake Novak, David Vassell, and David Clausen, the linebackers. On the inside, Ben DeMarco and Braden Krupp, the outside linebackers, Carson Riviera-Jabreau and Charlie Kress. The safeties, Lucas Simons and Nick Kowski, and the cornerbacks, Jeremy Haydu and Logan Toft. So we've got you set there. It's 3rd down and 9 for Chardon, back on their 48-yard line as they work their way right to left across your TV screen. 9 minutes to go on this one. The handoff, Carr running room across the 45 and down near the first down.
Well, good work by Henry there on the offensive line to open that up. Check that, I should say that was Ishii, number 77, Aiden Ishii, with the big play on the offensive line there.
Carr will be marked about 1.5 yards shy of the first down marker. He needs to get to the, actually about 1 yard shy, beg your pardon. He needs to get to the 44.5. Topper's going to go for it, and why not? 4th and 1 from the 44. Y'all know what's coming here. They give it to Carr. Carr forward, picks it up, and then a little bit more. First down, Toppers move those chains.
The thing is, you don't necessarily know what's coming. You could pretty reasonably guess that Sean Carr is going to run it, but if you're that defense, you can't assume Alex Henry isn't going to take that snap and take it himself. So that's the thing that the Hilltoppers do to opposing defenses is, even in those situations where you think you know, you don't know. A lot of weapons over there.
Sean Carr is not a bad option.
No, definitely not.
1st and 10, Toppers from the 41. Henry fakes it and is brought down at the 45 for a loss. And on that stop is the safety, Logan Toft.
Logan Toft does his job there. Looks like he's the QB spy. It's his job to not worry about the football, just worry about where Alex Henry was. And good play action there, but Toft did his job. He was right there for the loss of about 3 there on that one.
Mentioned Sean Carr just a bit ago. Do want to get this in Carr. 297 yards so far on the season, 2nd on the team in rushing, averaging about 6 yards a carry. Henry, of course, leads the team.
It's false start. Movement on the near side of the offensive line.
Boy, Toppers, you wouldn't think this is a home game. The crowd nice and quiet for their offense. Even the Chardon Crazies, it's beach night, or I don't know, you want to call it Hawaiian theme?
It's something along those lines.
I see the beach ball out there. They're wearing.
Is that someone dressed as a banana down there?
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's what I thought I saw.
Yep, they've got some hula skirts, some, what is it, the lays? I mean, it's like a big party out there, and they're even being quiet right now, trying to get this, not distract their offense. 2nd down and 19 from the 49. Henry dropping back the pass, looking over the middle for Nathaniel Salka. Salka open, makes the catch. Salka, one man to beat in the end zone. Touchdown, Toppers. Nathaniel Salka with the 49-yard touchdown reception.
You know, last week we talked about how Alex Henry started to come out. One of the things that we noticed last week is the way he looked like a more confident player in the passing game. He hit Salka for a touchdown last week. That might have been one of Alex Henry's best throws of the year. Got it over Salka's shoulder, hit him on the run. Salka makes the catch at the 20. He's in the end zone for a touchdown. That was a beautiful play. They took the top off the Bombers, who were keyed in for that run. Excellent play call, excellent execution. That was a great play by those guys down there.
It's very interesting. John Camp from the News Herald today in his notes as Taggart puts that one right down the middle. Mentioned, we're going to see a ton of running today, but make no mistake about it, this game could very well be won by a long touchdown pass, and we just saw one right there.
Well, tonight's special cablecast is funded by your cable subscriber franchise fees, and we'd like to again extend thanks to all the GTV funding communities, including those not funding tonight's contest for the year-round support. They are Burton Village, Chardon Township, the City of Chardon, Middlefield Village, and Munson Township. Thanks again for supporting GTV, and thanks to all our viewers for their support.
You go back to last week, and Salka had that catch. Henry admitted after the game it was a terrible throw, but he knew if he just got it close, Salka would take care of it. And that time, as you pointed out, Ryan, a tremendous throw.
Yeah, the ball last week was maybe a yard overthrown, but Salka came up and got it. But that throw, it's exactly how you would tell him to throw it. He gets it out in front of Salka. He leads Salka to the ball. It was over Salka's shoulder to the point where none of the defenders were going to catch it. Only Salka was going to catch it, and it was to the spot where it was going to hit him in stride. Salka didn't have to come back. Salka didn't have to adjust the route. That was a great throw.
One of the things you love about having Nathaniel Salka out there is he's 6'4", 205. Very few guys are going to be out jumping him in the secondary.
Yeah, good luck.
Tagger, a high kick. Simons will give way to one of the other return men who brings it across the 15. And that time it's Rivera Jabro on the return for Kenston. And now, if you're the Bombers, you're in a very hostile environment. And we'll be hearing the crowd get a little bit loud once they break that huddle. You had some issues on your last possession. How do you calm these nerves down?
I mean, they've been here before. I mean, like I said, they were in this situation last week where they had trouble on a punt, gave a short field, fell behind early. So you kind of look around at each other and say, we've been here before last week. Now it's a little different. Chardon's a much better team, but you don't worry about on the sideline. You just try to remind each other we've been there before. We know what this is about.
JP Germano remains in a QB. Germano looking to run the football now, trying to get around the right side. No, was brought down from behind. And that time it's Ryan Peterson making the stop.
Pick up about 5, and this is how Kenston's going to play it tonight. They're going to run the football at you. And the Hilltoppers are pretty good defense against the run. That's going to have to continue this week here against Kenston.
One receiver to the right, actually 3 to the left. Now man going in motion. They will hand it off. Patrick makes a cut at the line of scrimmage. Patrick up near the 30 where he's wrapped up by several toppers. Just shy of that first down.
Both these teams like to run, Matt, but they do it very differently, as the Hilltoppers like to run out of the wing tee, and you see the Bombers here, they spread the field and try to get that Hilltopper defense spread out a bit. Got to have a couple of guys out there on receivers.
Sean Patrick, 497 rushing yards on the season, has 1 touchdown. Germano faked the throw, wrapped up, hit, and now he's wrapped up and knocked down. Multiple Hilltoppers got in there, including Mario Tolo, to help bring him down.
And once again, the Hilltoppers come up strong with a big play.
Officials are going to give him forward progress, very close.
So they might want to measure this.
That's what they're doing right now. You look at JP Germano and what he has done as they're measuring this. But Germano, now the officials trying to get that chain mark. They do. They put it down. And he's just, you see right there, a couple links shy. So it will be a 4th down and inches. But Germano last week, 35 carries, 215 yards rushing.
Now we saw the Hilltoppers on the first drive too. They really brought the pressure on 3rd down, trying to get off the field. And
against North, by the way, 24 carries, 249 yards. Kid can run.
They are actually going to do this here, Matt. This is a gutsy play call.
They need a few inches. You have to wonder if Grubich is just trying to get
That's what I'm wondering.
the Toppers to jump off sides. They don't. Who gets the push is the question. It looks like Kenston got it. They did. So the Bombers will pick up the 1st down, as it was the QB keeper with JP Germano going ahead and getting that 1st down.
Kenston's got some big guys on that offensive line, Matt, and they just pushed forward and able to pick up the 1st down. So Coach Grubich shows he has confidence in that group, and that group delivers for him. They're able to move the chains. You also wonder how, after a couple of weeks' trouble getting the ball back to the punter, if that had something to do with the decision as well on 4th and inches.
So now 1st and 10, Kenston from their own 34. 3 receivers left. Man goes in motion. It's Patrick. Gets the pitch left side, trying to cut around the corner. He does. 35 and out of bounds, shy of the 40.
Got to give Germano some credit there, Matt. He's listed on the roster as a wide receiver, but that was pretty well timed. I mean, he got that ball out to Patrick at the perfect time for that play. Just as the pressure was getting to him, He got rid of the football. That was well timed by the Bombers, and they pick up 5 yards on first down.
Now Cooper Felger will re-enter the game for the Hilltoppers. Chardon up 7-0 here in the first quarter. 4:41 to go. It'll be 2nd and 6 from the 38. Germano from the gun. 3 receivers left. Nobody to the right. He's going to take it himself, trying to go around the right side. Makes a nice cut. Lowers his shoulders and gets up near the 47. A.J. Bruce in on that stop.
Well, so far the Hilltoppers have keyed in and brought some pressure on third down. The Bombers are 0 for 2 on third down plays right now.
3rd and 3 from the 41. They'll spread them wide to the right, 1 receiver to the left. Patrick lines up like he's going to get pitched. No, Toppers are in the backfield. Tolo was there. Washington was there. They got him, and they did not let him go.
Once again, that's what the Hilltoppers are doing on third down. They're bringing the heat. They had 3 guys in the backfield there, initially Washington, and then Tolo came in and helped clean it up, finish things off. And the Bombers will have to bring the punt unit on the field, and this is good. You know, we talk about the flash, the interceptions, all that stuff. One of the good things that the Hilltopper defense does, Matt, is they get off the field on third down.
Again, it's over Monday's head. Scoops it up this time. Gets the punt off, and it will take another Bomber bounce across the 40 down near the 37-yard line. Boy, the Bombers, that's twice now they have caught some breaks.
It's amazing how good Monday is, Matt. That both those punts end up being really good punts. I mean, is that their strategy, to give him more room to punt and keep the coverage unit away from him? Because he has plenty of room to punt, and when he picks it up, plenty of time, and he gets it off. But
imagine if he wasn't 20 yards behind where he should be to punt the football.
He would have been able to put that around the 20 from his 20.
And folks,
he's got an impressive leg.
The kid is capable of kicking a field goal well over 50, 55 yards. Make no mistake about that. 1st and 10, Toppers from 37. Pettyjohn in motion, and legal procedure coming against the Hilltoppers.
3rd one already in this game, and you know they're avoiding the big ones from last week, but
Coach Hewitt not happy at his offensive.
I don't know if he's unhappy with his offense or the official. The call was close. There was a little bit of a shift from Pettyjohn before he went in motion, and that's what the officials called. I think that the Hilltoppers are trying to say he was in motion, but I think there was a moment where he shifted a leg before he actually started, and I think that's what they called him on.
Toppers, 2 receivers set both to the left side. Couple wing backs in the backfield. Peterson in motion. Peterson gets the call, but Peterson going to be dropped in the backfield by Ben DeMarco for a loss back to the 30.
You know, Peterson's been getting more carries with each week as we go on here this season. That time he just couldn't find the corner, and Ben DeMarco was able to chase him down. Bombers have some speed over there on their defense.
Well, it was one of the things that we heard about this Kenston defense leading up to this week, is they are very quick. Henry dropping back to pass, looking to throw, and he throws it well short and incomplete.
Felt the pressure coming, threw off his front foot, and that ball went straight into the ground. So now a 3rd and long situation being faced here by the Hilltoppers.
Penalties were something that the Hilltoppers were able to overcome last week in that game against Mayfield. But you have to wonder, you're playing a much better team tonight. No disrespect meant to Mayfield, but
you don't want to spend the night playing behind the chains against the Bombers defense. That is for sure.
3rd and 17 from the 30. Henry will give it to Pettyjohn. Scissor play, and Peterson wrapped up near the 30. No gain on that one. Boy, we have not seen that scissor play in a while.
And on third down, much like what the Hilltoppers have been doing to the Bombers on third down, Matt, the Bombers bought pressure. A lot of guys in the backfield, and able to get pretty quickly was Lucas Simmons to bring down the play. And unfortunately, you end up having to punt here.
Alex McDonald, the big man, out to punt the football with about 1:40 left to go. McDonald gets a good kick. It's a high snap. Fair catch called for near the 30, and that is where Kenston will take over.
It's a good punt there by McDonald to get that one out. Well, we have a new streaming service. You can see GTV through Roku and Apple TV with the Cablecast ScreenWeave app. Once the user has added the app to their Roku or Apple TV, they can watch both GTV channels, 1020 and 1025. Cablecast ScreenWeave. Visit geaugatv.org for more info. You can also email geaugatv@windstream.net.
Smart Real Estate Momentum for your support. Chardon Hilltopper Athletics.
Well, back out on the field comes the Bombers offense, and they have struggled so far. Was looking in between the change there, the changeover, and Nico Giorgio is in street closer. He will not be playing tonight. Looks like his hand is wrapped up. So it's going to be up to JP Germano tonight. Germano going to go straight ahead, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Too many black jerseys there to say who it was that got him down.
Well, the Hilltoppers were there to get the stop, and this defense is coming up strong early. It doesn't matter how good you are. The Bombers are a good team. You're going to have a tough night if your game plan is we need to run against the Hilltoppers, but it's what the Bombers need to do, and they have enough confidence that they're going to keep going to that, and they believe eventually they'll break through, but that's a tough task against this Hilltopper D.
2nd and 9. Germano looking to go left side, and he is brought down for a loss. Multiple toppers getting off the rug. Again, another team tackle, and that's what you get out of the Hilltopper defense. They identify the ball carrier, and they swarm.
And, Fetchick, Washington, Felger, Tolo, it was all four of them in the backfield again, and throughout this first quarter, those four have been in the backfield all night, and the Bombers have really struggled to hold them back. The Bomber offensive line did a good job on that 4th and 1 play. Otherwise, the Hilltopper defense has pretty much been able to get into the backfield at will throughout this first quarter.
And, we haven't even mentioned Brody Dotson, who returned tonight after a couple weeks off because of that shoulder injury. Germano puts it up in the air in the area of Nathaniel Salka. It goes out of bounds. Incomplete. Germano looking for Tamir Cardona, but that was just not a catchable ball.
No, he let go of that ball way too early. Hadn't really asked him to throw yet. First throw, he barely finished his drop before he let that football up, and that ball was not going to be caught there by Cardona. And does a good job of managing the offense, does Germano, but there you see what you miss when you lose your quarterback at the beginning of the year.
Well, Kenston 0 for 2 on snapping the ball to the punter. Let's see if they can make it 1 for 3 here. They do. And Monday, a pretty good kick fielded by Fetchick at the 35-40. 45 midfield, 50 to 45. Fetchick away. He's going down the sidelines. Fetchick has a block from Solka toward the end zone. Makes a cut. He's in. Touchdown, Toppers. Nathaniel Solka with a huge touchdown return.
Yeah, good work there. Big return by the Hilltoppers. Running through that line was Heath Fetchick from about the 35-yard line. Gets down the sideline. Salka throws a block for him at the 5 to get him into the end zone. Huge return for Fetchick. He had a ton of space open. The coverage team did not get downfield in time. Fetchick got that ball, Matt, and there was no one nearby. He ran by that first layer of defense, and he was gone. Great return by Heath Fetchick. And Hilltoppers have built themselves a lead. So the first time a punt goes well for the Bombers turns into a punt return touchdown.
Bit of a high snap, but no issue for Taggart. He puts it through. We have completed 1 quarter. And the score, Chardon 14, Kenston nothing.
Well, if you'd like to advertise on the new scoreboard at Chardon, there it is, beautiful new scoreboard. You can call the CHS Athletic Office at 286-0414, and they'll put you in touch with representatives of the Gridiron Club for details. Beautiful scoreboard. You get a video message up there, so contact the Gridiron Club today for more info.
What a way to end the first quarter. Heath Fetchick with the punt return for a touchdown. So if you think about this now, we've seen Trey Liebhart and A.J. Bruce with kickoff returns for touchdowns, and now Fetchick adds to it in the punt return game.
Yeah, that was a great return by Fetchick, and you really see his speed on display when he gets into the open field like that, and Fetchick was able to just take off down the field.
Chardon getting some exceptional special teams play that wasn't quite there the first couple games of the season, but as this season has progressed, they have tightened up, and boy, they have greatly improved.
Yeah, and we definitely know the one thing that there were some things that needed to get sorted out, but the one thing they always had was that great speed in the return game, and there it is on display again. Meanwhile, I do think it's interesting that the first time the Bombers execute the punt, it gets returned. That's a funny. Football can be a funny game sometimes, Matt.
Taggart sends that one into the end zone for the touchback. Rivera-Jabro can argue all he wants, but he had both feet
he was
in the end zone.
He was well into the end zone for that one. Hilltopper defense has been good tonight, Matt. And, I mentioned in the first quarter, we like to talk about the turnovers, but what they've done so well today is get off the field with third down. Don't let Kenston move those chains. Kenston only moved the chains once. They had to do it on 4th and inches. That's what's been so good about this Hilltopper defense so far tonight.
J.P. Germano comes out with a 1st and 10 from the 20 situation as we begin the second quarter. Bit of a high snap, brings it down, gives it to Sean Patrick, tries to make a move. Patrick wrapped up and dropped for no gain that time. And Nathaniel Salka was the guy who wrapped him up by the ankles.
Yeah, relentless pursuit down there. Just keep following that football, and he barely gets a yard. He got away from the initial pressure, but the Hilltoppers just kept on coming.
Has to be frustrating right now if you're Kenston. This isn't how they would normally be attacking the Hilltoppers, with their quarterback Nico Giorgio out with the finger injury, but they're trying their best, and the problem is they're up against a buzzsaw that's the Topper defense. Germano going to run ahead up to about the 25-yard line where he's dragged down. He'll bring up 3rd down.
And, on the initial couple drives of the night, Kenston got some big runs in 1st and 2nd down. They were at 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s. Past couple times have been facing 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. Hilltopper defense is really starting to settle in here, and they're settling into the Kenston offensive backfield.
3rd and 5 from the 25. Germano from the gun, looking to throw. Now he's going to step up. He does throw over the head of everybody. Nearly picked off. Oh! Whew. The Hilltoppers would like that one back. Leo Colombi was thinking he had pick number 3, but it might have been a little bit too much for him.
There was mustard on that. And again, what you notice from both throws from Germano, Matt, they come out really quick. I mean, that was a quick slant route, but he still another half a second. And he let go of that so fast. And there wasn't a lot of touch on it either. It was a tough catch for Columbia. That ball was really coming hard at him.
Now Monday back to punt, standing at his 10. They got to hope this one's a good snap. A little bit low, but he has no issue with it. Fetch it. We'll watch it bounce. Picked up by one of the return men across the 50 and brought down near the 45. That was Trey Liebhart, beg your pardon, who scooped it up and gained about 10 yards.
Liebhart is a playmaker, man. That's what he is. And we see it mostly on the defensive side of the football, but remember back in week 1 on the offensive side of the ball, we saw a couple of big plays from him, and there we see him make a play again. That ball just bounces to him, and he says, you know what? Why not? This isn't what they tell me to do, but I'm going to do it. He just likes to make plays. That's what he does.
The thing is, usually that's a fire situation where you get away from the football as soon as it bounces. He did not that time. Fortunately, able to scoop it up and run for a 10-yard return. Henry looking to throw the sidelines, has his man in Sulka, who made the catch out near the 38. Nice pickup on first down.
Good route, good throw. Sulka coming in, getting himself open, kind of in a soft spot there between the linebackers and the safeties, and Henry was able to key in on it. He got the throw right to Sulka at the sideline, pick up 7 yards on first down. That was well-executed pass play there between those two. And it's good to see the Henry and Sulka connection starting to fire up here the past couple weeks.
Yeah, been missing, or at least it was missing early on. Alex Henry gonna fake the handoff, goes straight ahead. Henry 30, on his feet, 25, down to the 15, the 10, and Henry pushed out of bounds. Finally, the QB with a breakout run.
Well, you know, they've been working it all night long. You're waiting for him on the ground. He's, you know, made a couple throws, completed a couple passes. You got everyone thinking a little differently, and that opens up the door for that big QB run. And this offense is really firing on all cylinders right now. And the Bombers, for the second week in a row here, are getting hit hard early in the first half.
1st and 10 Hilltoppers from the 11. Sulka lined up near side as the split end. Henry will hand it off, and making his way up near the, we'll call it the, I don't know, the 3 or the 4 was Carr. Was trying to look and see where he was brought down. They're going to spot it, I think, at the 2.
Yeah, right around the 2-yard line. Nice run on Sean Carr, picking up 8 yards.
Check that. They're going to put it at the 3. I don't have the best angle here from under the tent, but nonetheless, scoreboard says 3. We'll go with it. So 2nd down and 2 from the 3. Toppers come set at the line, man in motion, and they will give it to Sean Carr in the end zone. Touchdown, Toppers.
Let the big man finish him off. He got you all the way to the 3-yard line. Give the ball to him. Let him get in the end zone for the touchdown, and the Hilltopper offense is on a roll tonight, Matt.
Well, we've seen the Toppers do it through the air, on a return, and now on the ground.
And on that drive, compared to the previous few drives, they avoided those procedural penalties. They weren't behind the chains at all, and they were able to just march down the field and get themselves into the end zone for a touchdown.
Tagger out to put a dent in the scoreboard, and he does! Look at that!
He got it above the score and actually hit the new video board. That was well done by Tagger up there.
If he puts a crack in that, I don't know if you can take that to like your Verizon store and have them put a new screen on it.
You just take it over to the local TV repair shop, right?
Okay,
yeah.
Good point.
Just put it in the back of the truck and drive it over there. Well, hey, Chardon volleyball coverage is going to continue October 2nd, as we'll have the Kenston at Chardon game that had to be postponed due to COVID issues. So check the home volleyball schedule and take in the match. It's loud, it's exciting, and we'll also have more soccer coverage as well, senior nights for both girls and boys. Stay tuned for dates on those contests.
I believe I'm returning to the gym for that one.
The volleyball game,
yeah.
You are. That's next Saturday.
Yeah,
next
with
Saturday
with my work schedule, it's very difficult to do games immediately when they start at 5. My employer has made it explicit my butt stays in my seat until 5 o'clock.
Well,
yeah, I know.
You've been pushing that button a few too many times the past few years, huh, Matt? But anyway,
a little bit, but nonetheless.
Yeah, it's Hilltoppers having a good year for volleyball, so that'll be a fun one for you. And playing Kenston, we know it's always fun when Chardon and Kenston meet, no matter what the sport is.
Absolutely, and here from Chardon Memorial, 8:59 to go in this one. 21-0 Hilltoppers. Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you. And Ryan, I don't know if a lot of people figured it'd be 21-0 at this point in time.
No, this feels similar to how that Ursuline game started, where everyone thought it was going to be a close contest, and the Hilltoppers just got out and running early.
No arguments that time from Rivera Jabro.
It was back there for the touchback again, and good work by Tagger there, getting the touchbacks tonight. Talked about that's an important part of his job.
Well, and we can't talk about this enough, I think, personally. When you can make the other team go 80 yards no matter what, it's such a big difference than giving them the potential to return one back or to take one out to midfield or wherever they may end up. I don't think it's worth the risk. If you got a guy like Nathan, just have him boot it in the end zone every single time.
And even if you're just talking they return it to the 35, there's a big mental difference between being at your own 20 and being at your own 35.
Germano could not get away from Cooper Felger as Felger touched him first, and then they just strung him out.
Bombers haven't had success in the passing game yet, and I've got a feeling until Kenston proves they can do that, especially now that the Hilltoppers have a little cushion, they're going to really be ratcheting up and bringing a lot of pressure into that backfield.
Loss of 4 on the play, 2nd and 14 now from the 16. Germano from the gun sends a man in motion. Sean Patrick had it knocked away. It's a loose football. Hilltoppers scrambling to pick it up. They do in the end zone, and touchdown Chardon. Welcome back, Brody Dotson.
Good to have Dotson back, huh, Matt? Dotson on the spot, able to get in there and pick it up. I missed who it was. One of the linebackers had that play read. It was a screen pass, but the problem was it was a lateral, so it was behind the line, so it goes as a fumble instead. But that was that little screen play, and the linebacker had it read, almost jumped it and intercepted it, and instead Dotson able to pick up the loose ball, fumble, and get it into the end zone for the touchdown.
Things have gone from good to ugly here in the second quarter for Kenston. They had kept it close, but then the Hilltoppers have just turned it on.
Yeah, Hilltoppers doing a great job forcing those miscues by the Bombers.
That PAT again hits the scoreboard. It is good.
Didn't quite get it as high this time.
He didn't, but with 8:14 to play, Hilltoppers take a 28-0 lead.
Well, high school sports are just part of our programming lineup on GTV. Our coverage continues all year long for Berkshire, Cardinal, Notre Dame Cathedral Latin, and Chardon sports. We're starting our 26th year this fall. Check channels 1020 and 1025 and the GTV website, www.geaugatv.org, regularly for replay dates and times. And don't forget, the community and school bulletin board services provided 24 hours a day on GTV 1020 and 1025. Check www.geaugatv.org for details. Before the game, Matt, Coach Grubich, when we spoke with him, said, my team needs to take care of the football tonight. That's not something the Bombers have done. Now, they recovered it, but remember, the very opening kickoff, they fumbled. And that's kind of where this all started. And we cover Chardon every week, so I feel like we say it every week. If you don't take care of the football when you play the Hilltoppers, you're going to find yourself down 28-0 really quick. And that's what's happened to Kenston tonight. Hilltoppers are not one of those teams. You know, you'll play high school games where a team will let you off the hook over and over again. That is not the Hilltoppers. They take advantage of every one of your mistakes because they're that good. And the Hilltoppers have done it again tonight.
Well, Kenston has to be careful here because it's reached a point in time where another Hilltopper score, and we have a running clock in the second quarter. Think about this. In less than 4 minutes, the Hilltoppers have put up 21 points. They don't even bother to attempt that one into the end zone for a touchback.
The Tagger once again gets that one all the way back into the end zone. Yeah, it happens quick, and I mean, you know, the Bombers have had fumbles. They gave up the punt return. It's been a tough day for Kenston, and Hilltoppers taking advantage, doing their job. And look, the Kenston offense not on the field much because, you know, even when they don't turn the ball over, this Chardon defense has been getting off the field on third down. Bombers only have 1 first down so far in this game, Matt. Chardon has been dominant here tonight.
Now the Hilltoppers have now officially scored in every asset of this game on defense, offense, and special teams as they lead 28-0 here. Bombers looking to go through the air. Some pressure. Germano puts it on the ground. They pick it up again. Hilltoppers will get the football. And things are just crashing down for Kenston. It was Rocco Perico who scooped up that fumble.
You know, the Bombers are feeling that Hilltopper pressure right now. So Germano rolls out, has a little bit of time. He starts to hear the footsteps. And it's almost like you could see things start to speed up on him, Matt. He started moving a little bit more quickly. He wanted to get that ball up, and he just dropped it. And the Hilltoppers able to force the turnover again.
So the Chardon offense will come back out on the Kenston 2.
And look, on the defensive side of the ball, Matt, the Hilltoppers are just going to keep bringing that pressure until Kenston can prove they can do something in the air, which they have not done yet tonight.
Alex Henry takes a look, will fake the handout. Now he gives it, I think that was the give to Carr. Maybe?
There was a lot of good misdirection down there, man. Hilltoppers got it done, that's what I know.
Yeah, it was Sean Carr.
It's a second touchdown run of the game for Carr. 34-0 Hilltoppers, 16 minutes in the game. You're right, Matt. No one saw this when this game was on there, but man, that's just how quickly that the Hilltoppers can pile things up on you. They do such a good job. And you can tell the Bombers are feeling that pressure right now.
So Carr's 2-yard TD run, that PAT, did he get it in? He did. It made it through the upright. It was a bad snap, but the holder able to pick it up, and Tagger put it through. With 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter, it's Chardon 35 and Kenston nothing.
By the way, since we've been talking about it, we've been keeping track at home. That one actually missed the scoreboard, but cleared the bleachers over there and is now behind the bleachers somewhere. Anyway, GTV has an email service that will send you GTV replay information. Just go to our website, www.geaugatv.org, and sign up. When we set our schedule, you'll be the first to know. It's easy as informative, so make sure you sign up now. And also, go ahead and follow GTV on Twitter for the latest replay news and other important info. Join GTV on Twitter, and you'll have all the latest.
Boy, 35-0. This kind of takes the fun out of this rivalry game.
Some might disagree with you, Matt.
Yeah, the fans in the home stands just will not get the normal back and forth you do at a Kenston Chardon game. And you know, again, the thing is, when you look at Kenston, they came in, and the trouble has been, with no disrespect meant to J.P. Germano, but it's been the quarterback position that's the problem for them, and rightly so. You know, he's not a QB; he's a wide receiver. And they're asking him to do so much. And you know, you look at the numbers, Ryan. This Hilltopper team does not give up running yards.
No, not at all. Doesn't happen. And that's what the Bombers have run into tonight. And like I said, if you're not going to be able to throw the football against Chardon, you're not going to move the ball offensively. And that's exactly what has happened to the Bombers tonight. And you're right, it's easy to look at J.P. Germano, but you have to remember, he's not a quarterback. This isn't the position that he was supposed to be playing this year. Things happen, and he's done an admirable job stepping in. The team is 5-0. He's won them a couple football games. Just tonight against this defense, it's not there.
Been 28 unanswered points by the Hilltoppers in the last 4 minutes of game time. The handoff will go to Tamir Cardona, who tries to cut it back around the left side now, or the near side, and after a 5-yard gain, he is stopped.
He ran 15, picked up 5 as he went all the way to the far sideline, turned around, run back to the near side. But you know, the Bombers needed a positive offensive play, as I'm pretty sure it was the first play of each of the last 2 drives that they fumbled on. So they needed that positive yardage, and he fought to get his team 5 yards and maybe start to help their offense get that good feeling back again.
Well, last week, Chardon held Mayfield to 96 total yards of offense, 47 rushing, 49 passing. And they are, at this point in time, well on the way to do better tonight. Germano gets hit hard, and the Hilltoppers snuffed that play out. They realized that it was going to be a pitch to Sean Patrick, and Patrick had no chance.
Good job in scouting report at practice this week. Good job playing that one out with the scout team, because you're right, they knew exactly what that was. Germano pitched it to Patrick, and both of them got hit in the backfield at about the same time. So well done there by the Hilltopper D, and Bombers once again facing a 3rd and long at 3rd and 10 now.
You go back to last week and a conversation we had with Coach Hewitt and some of the guys prior to that game, and the talk was it was the toughest week of practice they had all season long. And I think it's safe to say that finally caught the players' attention, because they've performed much better since that week of practice. Germano looking to throw, can throw over the middle, has a man, broken up. Bruce might have had a chance for it, but nonetheless it falls incomplete, and that's going to bring up 4th and long.
Admirable job by Cardona to get out there. Made that ball look like it was overthrown. That ball was underthrown by about 5 yards, looking to get it out to Jimmy Richmond, the wide receiver, who was out the 45. And I'll tell you what, Cardona kind of ran into the picture to try to make a play for his quarterback. Just couldn't quite get there. He had a couple hands on it, though.
4th down and 10. Monday, good snap, has protection, pretty decent kick. Fetchick will watch it be touched up and brought down near midfield. A little bit of extracurricular activity.
Yeah, I was going to say that's, there's the frustration coming out, is you're going to have a personal foul against the Bombers there. Were they saying the Hilltoppers?
The Hilltoppers, because Tolo was the last one to hit, or I shouldn't say hit, but he shoved the Bombers. It was Jack Vassell who was in Tolo, were pushing each other there.
Well, it's a cliche, but people say it all the time because it's true. Officials tend to see the retaliation. They don't tend to see the initials.
Oh, these two programs, both coaches talked about it prior to the game tonight. A lot of respect for one another. Again, since, 2018, 2 of the last 3 state champions in Division III Region 9 have come from this conference out of Geauga County.
Yeah, they've done some good work today here as the Bombers want a timeout. Please remember, nonprofit organizations from our funding communities can send us their announcements of interest at GTV, P.O. Box 336 Chardon. Fax us at 285-9897 or email us at geaugatv@windstream.net.
With that, we're going to take a quick timeout and come back after this. That, folks, you didn't unfortunately see it, but that's how you start to have fun in a blowout, even when you're the visiting and opposing teams. Both schools just did a little bit of relay race between the student sections and the Hilltopper end zone during the timeout.
That was a lot of fun. I thought that we were at a minor league game somewhere where they have during the timeouts, here's the game of the 5 minutes.
Hey, biggest cheer we heard from the Kenston fans tonight.
Yeah.
So we go back to the game, and Henry tried to throw the ball away. I don't know if they're going to say he was down or if it was incomplete.
I think they called incomplete. Not sure what happened there, Matt, as Henry got into some trouble in the backfield, and that ball kind of fluttered out, but he was throwing, so the Hilltoppers facing a 2nd and 10 now.
Toppers might have caught a break there, nonetheless.
Definitely would rather take an incompletion there than a fumble.
So Alex Henry will step under center, tight wing T formation for the junior. Henry will hand the ball off, trying to come to the right side is Trey Liebhart. He puts the ball on the ground. Liebhart thought he was down. Officials say it's a turnover. Kenston will recover near midfield.
Yeah, that That was close, from up here you're thinking maybe he was down, but it's not how the officials saw it. And so for the first time tonight, the Hilltoppers turn the ball over, and the Bombers will have a short field for the first time as they get to start. This is Kenston's first trip into Chardon territory of the night. Kenston's had a couple things go their way here. That personal foul penalty against the Hilltoppers pushed them back 15 yards, now a turnover, and for the first time, Kenston's managed to flip field position.
Well, Germano going to give it to Patrick, who goes around the right side. Patrick running him toward the 30. Flag, the 20, and Patrick out of bounds near the 15, but this one is coming back.
Yeah, the flag is at the 35-yard line, so that is going to pick up the first down, but the loss of 10 means this is going to end up being a 1st and 10 at about the 45 for the Bombers. And that's fortunate because Patrick got away that time. First time the Bombers have gotten away from this Hilltopper defense all night long. And it's coming back.
Well, he found a hole to run through on the right side, and he made them pay. Ball officially spotted on the 45, so 1st and 10 from the 45. Actually, 1st and 6 from the 45, beg your pardon. Germano going to keep it himself, trying to go right side, spun around near the line of scrimmage by a slew of Hilltoppers.
Just didn't let him go. Eventually, the last two off the pile there, Salka and Tolo making the play. And how about Mario Tolo? He's been in the backfield all night tonight from that linebacker position.
You talk about a guy like Mario Tolo. He was nowhere on our radar when the season began, but he has played his way into some nice playing time in a nice role amongst the linebacking core.
And that's what's fun about high school football. Some guys graduate, and you really never know who the next guys that are going to step up are going to be. And Tolo has been one of those guys this year, and he's been fun to watch.
2nd and 6. They'll fake the handoff. Germano up the middle. Germano makes a cut. He's knocked down. Big hit by Rocco Perico.
Yeah, he looked like he was about to get going. Then he ran into the brick wall that is Rocco Perico, and Perico sent him backwards.
Stopped short around the 43-yard line, so gain of 2. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for Kenston. And you have to wonder, down 35-0, is this is this 4th down territory? Germano flushing out left side, looking to throw the football, and it is batted down. Is it picked? The Hilltoppers say yes. The officials say so.
Still hasn't been a completed pass today for the Bombers, and Hilltoppers, that ball just got into a defender's face, and he was able to pick it off.
I believe that was Michael Washington.
Guys on the defensive line don't get picks very often, Matt.
Probably wants to take that one home, put it on the mantle. Don't know if the officials will let him, but nonetheless.
Hilltoppers get the ball back about where they fumbled it, so I guess this falls in the no harm, no foul category. There goes Carr.
Carr off to the races. Henry trying to get a block for him, and Carr will be taken down shy of the 15-yard line. What a run by Sean Carr as Logan Toff stopped a touchdown. But how about that Alex Henry? You saw Henry racing down the field. The QB was trying to make a block for his running back.
Oh, well, Henry's a player. That's what he's going to do. He's going to get down the field. He's going to be in on every play. And at the end of the run, the Hilltoppers took another penalty. Personal foul against the Hilltoppers to take 15 yards off the end of the run. And I don't think Coach Hewitt is happy.
Absolutely not. They had the ball down near the 15, and now they will have a 1st and 10 situation from the 32.
I think the officials keep catching the retaliation is what I think Coach Hewitt's not happy about right now.
Now, the thing is, if you're Chardon, you have to be smart just not to not retaliate. Do it on the scoreboard. Carr They fake the pitch to Carr. Henry looking to run right side. Henry, the stiff arm, out of bounds near the 20. We've seen them so many times this year pitch it to Carr on that play, but every now and again, Henry will keep it and tuck it.
And it's a good play call, too, because the defense is going to want to go in Sean Carr's direction, and Alex Henry goes the other way. And you're right, he threw a nice stiff arm on the end of that run into Nick Kowalski.
Give us to Pettyjohn left side up near the 15. Toppers want to run a hurry-up offense here, and they had to wait for the chains to get set.
Good opportunity here, yet Hilltoppers haven't really gotten to practice the hurry-up much, so get them an opportunity out there to run the hurry-up here. And
well, you do it in practice, you might as well do it a little bit in game time that you may need it later on in the season. Henry up the middle, avoids one tackler. Henry on his feet, 5-10. He falls forward into the end zone. Touchdown, Toppers.
Well, Alex Henry is not going to quit on a run, so you better make sure you wrap him up. And Henry stepped through a number of tackles to get that one into the end zone for the touchdown because he just doesn't quit.
Unfortunately for Kenston, one of their players is down on the field in a ton of pain. It's Braden Krupp, the linebacker. Folks, with that, we're going to take an injury timeout here on GTV. Well, the good news is Krupp able to walk off the field under his own power. In a lot of pain, but nonetheless able to make it off. Hilltoppers, this is the biggest first half they have had all season long, eclipsing that against Youngstown Ursuline from an offensive standpoint.
Yeah, they have been rolling tonight. They've taken advantage. Kenston's given them opportunities, and the Hilltoppers have cashed in every time.
PAT is good. Again, it hits the video portion of the scoreboard. And with 2:59 to play, Hilltoppers up 42 to nothing.
Yeah, Tagger's done a good job hitting that scoreboard tonight. Don't forget, you can check out GTV on the ScreenWeave app by Cablecast. So go ahead and check that out. Channels 1020 and 1025, both there. It's through Roku and Apple TV. Again, it's the Cablecast ScreenWeave app. Visit GeaugaTV.org or GeaugaTV@Windstream.net.
By the way, according to Doug Snyder, it's Alex Keisley who had that pick, not Washington.
Hey, our next football game versus New Philadelphia is an away game with a 7 p.m. kickoff. We are still working on arrangements for next week and don't have any film coverage details at this point. One thing we do know is that any coverage we provide will not be live streamed next week. So stay tuned to Channel 1025 for coverage details as they are finalized.
Want to do rock, paper, scissors for who drives and who rides with the Jevnikar?
I was going to say, that's
I noticed Mr. Foster's pointing at us. I'm just kidding, Dave. Actually, the weather's nice. I may try to, not going to lie, I may try to get in 9 holes of golf.
Well, hit the links down there,
yeah.
Huh?
Assuming I make it down there in time to do that. That PAT going to go, or that kickoff going to go into and out of the end zone.
Yeah, getting down to sneak in some Friday golf is nice, but family life usually has something to say about it. So who knows what's going to happen?
I have not played since my surgery, so it could get ugly.
I would say it'd be interesting to see where your swing's at.
For all you golfers out there, I had my labrum reattached, and I, for 20 years, could never actually swing the golf club the way you're supposed to. So I'm trying to learn how to swing a golf club again, and it's not pretty. Although it's probably prettier than the score if you're a Kenston fan right now.
But nowhere near as beautiful as the score if you're a Chardon fan.
Exactly. Germano going to try to carry it coming left side and was stuck in the backfield. Felger got him that time. Boy, you know, you talk about the job this defensive line has done for Chardon, and they have just been magnificent tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. They have dominated the line of scrimmage, and Kenston's got a big offensive line. You look down there on the field right now. These are big guys, and the Hilltoppers defensively have just had their way tonight. They've dominated the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 10. They give it to Patrick, trying to cut around the corner right side. Has his legs taken out from under him. Liebhart got him with a big tackle.
Good work there by Liebhart on the outside. We saw some speed from Patrick. We saw one big run that got brought back on a hold, but he can turn that corner, and Liebhart able to get to him and bring him down.
Folks, want to give a huge GTV shout-out to some folks listening in New Zealand. That's right, halfway around the world, to the Merriman family. Jeremy, Julian, kids, Coach Novacek's daughter. His other daughter, Hannah, also listening tonight in Seattle. So we really appreciate you tuning in and hope you're enjoying this one. 42-0, Hilltoppers up on top. And girls' dad says hello, and he misses you. Nice catch by the Bombers. They should be close to the first down, as that time it was Jimmy Richmond who hauled it in. Officials say move the chains.
They will, that will move the chains. And so that if you're in New Zealand, you're listening to us in the future, right? Because it's Saturday in New Zealand, is it not? So
I believe so.
We're coming at them from the past. Is where we're coming from right now.
Or do we have it backwards? I can never get that.
It's got to be Saturday there, so that means we're in their past. Something.
Germano looking to throw over the middle, and it's batted away. Nathaniel Salka, good coverage. Was not going to let Carson Rivera-Jabro make that catch.
Yeah, trying to get a completed pass. You're going to go to your tight end over the middle. That's a good, safe place to go, but Salka able to get in there and make a big, strong play. And you talked about he used that 6'4" frame there to bat that one away.
Well, if you've noticed now, the Hilltoppers with 1:34 to go here have started to take some pressure off, and they're content just at this point in time play some pass coverage defense. Germano, 3 receivers right, 2 to the left. Looking to run left side. Germano has a little opening up near the 40-yard line, falls forward, and is close to that first down marker.
On the near side, he's short. On the far side, he made it. And they're going to spot him short.
2nd down and about 10 inches.
3rd down.
Excuse me, 3rd down. Same formation for Kenston. Germano will hand it off. Patrick trying to cut the corner. He does. He crosses the 40 out near the 41 for the first down.
Enough to move the chains, but the Bombers aren't operating in any kind of a hurry here, Matt, at halftime down 42-0. They're content to just take care of the football and head to the locker room to regroup and get ready for the second half.
Well, considering, I want to throw this out there, it's week 6 of the regular season. Does Chardon even play their starters in the second half?
I got you.
That'll be the question. What do you decide to do?
I mean, you're at 42-0. You don't want to rub it in.
I know,
because you could very well see Kenston in the come playoff time.
Those are the tough decisions for coaches to have to make. You don't want your guys to not play at all in the second half.
Germano going to go to the air down the right sideline. Some pushing, and it looks like Trey Liebhart, boy, nearly came up with the INT, but when he fell to the ground, he couldn't hang on to it. Clock stops with 5 seconds left to go.
Yeah, he nearly picked that one off as he got up over Cardona. Cardona was looking for a PI flag that he didn't get.
So 5 seconds left to go. This is likely going to be the final play of the half. As we always do at this point in time, folks, we invite you to stick around for the halftime show featuring the bands. Should be an excellent performance by both squads. Germano stepping back to pass, going to throw it. He has it up in the air, and Liebhardt that time has the pick. Well, he put the ball on the ground, and he just made up for it right there.
And that's how the first half comes to an end, and that kind of is a microcosm for what the Chardon defense has done and how frustrated this Kenston offense has been.
At halftime, it is Chardon 42 and Kenston nothing. Folks, stick around. The bands are up next here on GTV.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing the 2021 Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band. The band is being led onto the field by our senior drum major, Michael Molesky. Our show this evening will transport you back to the vibrant disco dance clubs of the 1970s. Up first by the group formed in Steubenville, Ohio, Get Your Groove On with Wild Cherry and their hit from 1976. Play that funky music. Feature our majorettes, Faith, Lauren, Courtney, Hallie, Julianne, and Savannah in a tune by the ultra-popular group Kool and the Gang. Get ready to get down with Jungle Boogie. Wind & Fire was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the year 2000 and is one of the most commercially successful acts of all time, covering styles from funk to jazz to Latin. To close our show this evening, we feature our Topperettes with Captains Lindsey Craig and Alana Kolick in Boogie Wonderland. Gentlemen, put your hands together for the Chardon High School Fight Song.
Welcome back, everyone. Chardon Memorial, Matt Jaworski and Ryan Radke with you. Ryan, we thought this was going to be a close game, maybe decided by a couple touchdowns at the very end, but anything but in this one. The Hilltoppers outgaining Kenston 183-48. However, that number is very deceiving because the Toppers have 5 takeaways, have had short fields, and there was a little scoring outburst in the second quarter.
Yeah, there was. Look, you're right. That number, I mean, when you keep getting the ball inside their territory, you're not going to put up the yards to get the points. But Hilltoppers, before the game, we talked about the team that takes care of the football will win. 5 takeaways. That's why Kenston lost. And Kenston saw just, they got away with some takeaways last week against Lake Catholic. When you're playing a team as good as Chardon, they've seen this week exactly what could happen in the 12th minute of this game, or I guess that's the 13th minute of this game, Matt.
Well, let's go back to that second quarter, and it was a 4-touchdown minute for the Hilltoppers.
8:59 to 8:00 on the clock. And at the time, I didn't realize it. I knew it was happening fast, but I didn't realize it was happening that fast.
No, and if you go back to the end of the first quarter when the clock hit 00, 5 scores in under 4 minutes. Chardon will watch that ball go into and out of the end zone as they will take over on their 20-yard line. It looks, let's see here. Zorn Vuyakli going to come out at QB for the Hilltoppers. He's going to get some reps with the first team. Not a bad idea here.
No, yeah, I was wondering at the half. I was wondering if this is exactly what we were going to see. Vuyakli goes out there, but he's going to have some of those first team guys to throw to here on this first drive of the half with the running clock.
Of course, his older brother Max piloted the Hilltoppers to a postseason berth several years back. Zorn going to keep it himself. Makes a nice cut, still on his feet across the 30, down near the 32, first down Hilltoppers.
Nice cut there by Vuyakli, getting to the outside, diving ahead, got around a tackle.
Pick up the first down.
Joshua Bruce checking in this game as well, number 10. Going to be a split end on the far right. Wing T formation for Vuyakli. He will hand the ball off, and it's Sean Carr who battles his way up near the 35-yard line for the short gain.
Carr had 2 touchdowns in the first half of this game, and his first carry of the second half, he picks up a couple of yards there. Bring up second down at about 6.
Derek Mardula, the split end, coming near side for the Hilltoppers. They will, actually it's going to be QB keeper Vuyakli across the 35 out near the 37. We're going to third down and about 5.
Bombers were able to stay with the QB keeper that time, holding Vuyakli at a short yard there.
That's up a 3rd and 5 for the Hilltoppers.
So Chardon with that running clock going. It's at 10:09 and counting here in the third, as they are up 42-0. Looking to get something going and some more points on the board. They handed off. Peterson coming left side was tripped up and brought down shy of the 40-yard line. Tackle made by Braden Krupp. So good to see Krupp back, because he was tackled, or I shouldn't say tackled, was injured late in the second quarter.
Yeah, he was injured late in that second quarter. He missed a tackle on Alex Henry. I think Alex might have stepped on him on the way by, so he was fine. He just had the wind knocked out of him, needed to get up, walk off. And it's good to see that Krupp back out there for the Bombers.
4th down and 3. The Toppers will be punting the football. McDonald going to go back to his 26-25. And it'll be Lucas Simmons out to return the ball. McDonald going to kick it actually to the other side of the field, where it's a fair catch called by Riviera Jabro. Actually, check that. It's Mitkowski.
Well, tonight's special cable cast is funded by your cable subscriber franchise fees, and we'd like to again extend thanks to all the GTV funding communities, including those not funding tonight's contest, for their year-round support. They are Burton Village, Chardon Township, the City of Chardon, Middlefield Village, and Munson Township. Thanks again for supporting GTV, and thanks to all our terrific viewers for their support.
Well, the Bombers going to come back out on the field, and J.P. Germano remains in at QB. He has had a rough night.
You know, if you're the Bombers who came into the game tonight, #1 in the region in points. So this loss is far from devastating to your season. And I'm sure the Bombers would like to get a couple of positive things going this week so they can regroup for next week.
Germano stopped in the backfield. Keith Fetchick got to him. And boy, Fetchick's had a great night. He had that big punt return for the touchdown.
He has. He had the punt return for a touchdown, and defensively, I mean, he's been back there. We talked about 4 names from the Hilltoppers in particular that have been in the backfield all night. Fetchick, Washington, Felger, and Tolo. And you know, Fetchick's just been back there all night.
I happened to talk with his dad, who said that taught him all his moves. In case anybody was wondering.
Patrick on the carry.
Patrick on that carry. Looks like he got back to the line of scrimmage. But boy, the Hilltoppers defense has been stingy to say the least tonight.
Yeah, they're not allowing anything. And you talked about it in that stat from the first half, allowing less than 50 yards of offense to this Kenston team. And, you know, Kenston has not been able to do anything in the passing game. And if you're one-dimensional against Chardon, this is what the Hilltopper defense will do to you.
Oh, and the thing is, if you're one-dimensional and that dimension's running, you're done.
Yes, and it's even compounded because
you know, Youngstown Ursuline at least showed you can keep up with Chardon if you're going to go through the air. But when you're stuck on the ground like the Bombers are tonight, there's no flight pattern with this Bomber squad tonight, if you will.
No, there is not.
And again, it's so tough to run just because this defense is that good. And, you know, what's crazy is, and we've talked about this with the coaching staff throughout this season, it's so hard not to make comparison to last year's defense. But they do things like this tonight, and you're drawn back into that comparison again.
You know, we've spent all year, Matt, thinking about comparing these guys to last year's team, but this game should show us all this is a different group, and they're up on Kenston 42-0. That was a great team last year, but it's time for us to enjoy this team that's on the field this year.
Takes it from the 37, on his feet across the 40, tripped up and dives down near the 35. Boy, if he hadn't gotten tripped up, he might have taken that one back to the house.
Yeah, but I just, you know, this team is really good this year, despite all those seniors they lost, despite everyone great. And now you get to week 5 and 6. And these guys have been out there and they've been playing together and they're gelling. And this is another really, really good team.
You know, you think about it. These guys practiced against the offense from last year.
That'll make your defense. That'll make your defense good. I'll tell you that.
1st and 10 Toppers from the 40, and they will run it to the left side. Pickup of a few yards there before the officials stop the play with forward progress. It's Daniel Pettyjohn with the carry. Boy, we have not called his name much tonight.
No, I mean, you know, when the thing is, when you have 5 backs, there's always one guy who has a quiet night. But I bet you if you look down there, they've given him the ball and he's moved it a few times. He's gotten his carries today, but after a couple of big weeks, it's been a quiet night for him. But with so many weapons at running back, it's tough to get the ball to everyone every week.
Pettyjohn goes in motion. WeWereAthletes going to keep it. WeWereAthletes cuts up near the 30, picks up the first down out near the 28-yard line.
Should be enough to move the chains, and it is. I would say that it's at the 30, so that'll move them up.
Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you tonight. Appreciate you joining us here on GTV. If you're just tuning in, boy, you have missed a heck of a game so far. 42-0 Hilltoppers up. All but 42 points came in the first half. We've had a running clock here throughout the third quarter. WeWereAthletes will hand it off. Pettyjohn left side, wrapped up in a late flag. As that time for the Bombers, it was Ben DeMarco who made the stop.
It's in the area of holding against the Hilltoppers, and I think that's going to be the call. That'll set them back. You know, their first couple drives, Matt, they had some procedural penalties, and then they really cleaned that up, and they've played a clean game of football since.
Still remains the starting offensive line. So Jackson, Rodriguez, Ishii, Bryant, and Altman.
And you know, now you're facing a second and 20 after the holding, but in this third quarter, WeWereAthletes has done a good job, Matt, of running this offense.
2 receivers to the right. Pettyjohn in motion, fakes it to Pettyjohn. WeWereAthletes. No, it is Pettyjohn who has it. Pettyjohn going right side the 5 toward the end zone, and he is in. No, yes, he is in. Touchdown, Toppers.
That flag at the 22-yard line might have something to say about that. Right after you said Pettyjohn's been quiet, he gets a big run. Unfortunately, it's going to be erased on another holding penalty here against the Toppers.
The holding penalty on Chardon.
So take that touchdown for Pettyjohn off the board.
Officials will put the ball on the 34-yard line. It will be first down and long. Let's just leave it at that. They've got to get to the 19. Zorn from the gun. We'll give it to Peterson, who lowers his shoulders and gets down inside the 25.
Good run by Peterson, because I bid on the QB keeper myself. I was following Zorin, and then I realized that it was Peterson with the ball. That's good carry. So you go from a 1st and 16 situation. Now you get yourself back to 2nd down and 6, and a chance to get yourself into 3rd and manageable. So good run there by Peterson to get enough yards back.
Well, meanwhile, the clock continues to run at 2 minutes and counting here in the 3rd quarter. Toppers enjoying a 42-0 lead over rival Kenston.
And this running clock really speeds the game up.
Handoff coming left side, and Pettyjohn tries to make a cut before he is caught by Lucas Simons. Still going, though. Out near the first down marker. Boy, 2nd effort by Pettyjohn.
I was going to say, I think everyone thought that play was over, and Pettyjohn's feet were still moving. Picked up a couple of extra yards, sets up 3rd and short.
Should have told him that.
Yes.
Jason Hebert, owner of a 2019 Jeep, moved that vehicle.
It's good. Never quit on a play, and Pettyjohn did not quit on that one. Kept his feet moving.
So 3rd and 1 for the Topper offense from the 19. Vuyaclia will keep it himself, going straight up the middle, picks up the first down out near the 15-yard line.
Nice run there by Vuyaclia to pick up the first down. He's looking good out there tonight.
He absolutely is. Hey, want to send a hello out to Dennis and Lillian Graw listening. Always tuning in. Appreciate that. This will likely be the last play of the 3rd quarter here. Zorin under center, has a man in motion, will give the ball off. Handoff, Pettyjohn left side toward the 10, and he's knocked out of bounds. So the Hilltoppers will be inside the 10-yard line when they switch sides of the field, because we have completed 3/4 of play. Toppers up 42-0. We'll take a timeout here on GTV. Welcome back, everyone, to Chardon Memorial. Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you on what back in the summer was initially supposed to be Chardon's homecoming weekend, but it was moved to the following home game just due to some potential COVID concerns. So that's going to be coming up.
I was saying, when I was driving to the stadium today, I was like, this feels like homecoming weekend, but it's still 2 weeks away, is what you're telling me.
Indeed it is. Have a game at New Philadelphia, and then they come home for homecoming against Madison for closing out the season with North and South. Zorin is hit hard. Did he hold on to the football? Kenston says no, he fumbled, and they believe they have it. Let's wait for the official signal. And the Toppers hung on to it. It was Derek Mardula, who I actually checked that Al Herner said the officials ruled them down.
Yeah. The Bombers definitely came up with a football, so fortunate there for the Hilltoppers. I mean, it would be a shame to see, because this has been a great drive that Zorn has run. It would be a shame to see him end it that way.
Well, the first unit with Zorn remains out on the field. They just want to finish this drive off here. Pettyjohn goes in motion. They give us to Pettyjohn. He cuts up, spun around, and he's down to the 1. So Daniel Pettyjohn inches shy of scoring the touchdown.
Yeah, got himself down to about the half-yard line there.
Well, they're going to bring in some jumbo package here. Altman comes out. Mark Hall comes in, the 6'1", 210 freshman. I wouldn't be surprised if they run it his way. Hall will be the right guard. They're going to go straight up the middle and in the end zone. Touchdown, Toppers.
Good drive there. Spanned most of the third and got you into the fourth quarter, and good job finishing that one off and getting into the end zone for the touchdown.
With 10:13 to go here, Zorn Vuyaklia scores a touchdown, and the Hilltoppers showing Kenston, who is the king of Geauga County tonight.
And Chardon well on their way to their 7th win in the last 8 matchups in this.
Well, not only that, but this win by Chardon tonight will even the series at 23-23-1. Taggart for the point after. Any doubt about it, you just hit the Chardon Smile Center sign.
Well, GTV is looking for cameramen and production assistants to help on our sports coverage. Email us at GeaugaTV@WomenStream.net if you're looking for some fun, part-time work. Hang out with Matt and I, hang out with Brian. Always a good time.
You know, I need to bring you home with me to use that phrase with my wife to let her know that there's fun hanging out with me. Just saying. I'm not allowed, Brian? Okay.
Oh, man.
Once again, you can catch this game on Hilltopper Football Replay. GTV 10:25, Saturday.
Be my pitch man.
I was going to say.
Sunday at noon, 3, 6, and 9 p.m.
I hope you don't need me to tell your wife you're a fun guy to hang out with.
On occasion. To be fair, she's exhausted raising 3 kids. One that's nearly 40, another that's 3, and one that's 9.
I was going to say, you're counting yourself, right?
What a night it has been, though, for the Chardon Hilltoppers. They have scored in all facets of the game tonight. They have simply dominated the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, dominated the line of scrimmage, forced a bunch of mistakes. They punched Kenston in the mouth early, and they never took their foot off the gas. Remember a few weeks ago when this group was still coming together, they kind of let Ursuline back into a game like this after they got out to a quick start. Here's where you can see how this unit has grown together just in the past few weeks. This time they did not let Kenston back in the game. They hit him early, and they kept the pressure on, and they buried him. And you could just, like I said, now that we get to the 5th or 6th week, this group has gelled and they're going, and you can really see this is another really good team this year.
You bring up an excellent point, though, because you look at what Chardon did. They had that 36-27 win against Ursuline where they had to hang on there. They got the late field goal from Taggart. By the way, new QB into the game for Kenston. Believe that is number 12, Dylan Krupp, who's a freshman. Krupp will hand the ball off running right side. Hilltoppers have their 2nd unit in making the stop.
Dylan Krupp, quarterback.
But you go back to that Ursuline game. They hung on there, and then the score for Riverside didn't show it. 28-7. Chardon just wore the Beavers down at the end. But Mitch Hewitt made it very clear to the media after that game. His offensive line was blown off the line of scrimmage all night long. Give it to Krupp again, across the 25, out near the 30-yard line. Should be good for a first down. Check that, that's Cohen Clark, who was the ball carrier.
Following that Riverside week, that was the week when we talked to Coach before the game. He said that it was the toughest week in practice of the year, the week following Riverside, and look, it's been a different team the last 2 weeks.
It absolutely has, and again, it starts with the offensive line. They've been winning those battles at the line of scrimmage. Bit of a high handoff, but Cohen gonna get it again. Stopped in the backfield for a loss. Boy, 4 or 5 black jerseys around the ball carrier, including number 44, Hayden Sumler.
That's just how they that's just how they raise their defenders here in Chardon, right? Doesn't matter. There's still 4 or 5 guys around the ball. That's what you do when you play defense at Chardon. You're a ball hawk. That's your job, and that's what they do.
Make no mistake about it, folks. These guys want to preserve the shutout tonight. There's no doubt about that. Looking to put the ball in the air, and it is going to be incomplete. Krupp, his throw just wasn't quite there on the mark.
Yeah, actually, his throw kind of tailed back into the receiver a little bit. I'm sure what they would ideally like Krupp to do is get that a little bit out in front instead so that he could hit the receiver in stride there as he heads to the sideline, but the receiver kind of had to stop as that ball was tailing back to him, and then some good coverage by the Hilltoppers blew that play up.
6:50 and counting here in this one. Appreciate you being a part of it on GTV, as it's going to be a fun night in Titletown tonight. Krupp fakes the handoff, and he's sacked. He got brought down by the ankles, and that time getting the sack was Philip Colucci.
Good play getting in there to make the stop.
That's a 4th down for the ball.
Colucci Jr. Fourth and 18 now for the Bombers. Monday out to Punton. Nobody back. Nice punt that will end up near the 36-yard line where the Hilltoppers will take over.
Well, we've already mentioned it, but our next football game is against New Philadelphia, an away game with a 7 p.m. kickoff. We are still working on arrangements for next week and don't have any firm coverage details at this point. One thing we do know is that any coverage we provide will not be live streamed. Stay tuned to channel 1025 for coverage details as they are finalized.
You talk about New Philadelphia, and you look at what they've done so far this year. They had a 48-7 opening season win against Marietta. Then they lost to Steubenville 41-7. Now that actually could potentially be a precursor to a playoff game. Austin Lazinski in, and he will take the ball and run it straight up ahead near the 41-yard line. So after the loss to Steubenville, they then beat up Akron Bookville 37-6. Familiar, Chard?
Yeah.
Yep. Then they lost to Canfield 35-0. And from what I understand, Canfield's quarterback, by the way, today signed a letter of intent to be the Ohio State's QB. Hilltoppers will run the football again, and they will pick up the first down.
Well, if you look at New Philadelphia's schedule coming into this week, Matt, the combined record of the teams they've beaten is 5-10. The combined record of the teams they've lost to is 8-2. So I don't know what you can draw from that, but you can draw some kind of conclusion.
By the way, that last carry is by Braden Maruna, who had the carry.
Just had a note passed to me. Next week will be audio only. That is official.
1st and 10 from the 47. Nearing the 4-minute mark in this one. And Lazinski is tripped up and brought down in the backfield for a loss. And now a late flag comes out. But we have seen a number of those today, some of the extracurricular activities.
Yeah, the first 2 personal fouls called today went against the Hilltoppers. This one is going to go against the Bombers.
The Hilltopper starters have to be saying under their breath, finally.
Because on both of those times they got the call, it kind of looked like the instigator didn't get flagged. And instead it was the response that got flagged. But, that's how it goes.
Derek Galenic brings in the play. Toppers will continue to try to run the ball, but not much going there. I invite you to stick around. By the way, after this one, we will have live audio and visual as Coach Mitch Hewitt and his assistants address the victorious Chardon Hilltoppers tonight.
This is a huge win for the Hilltoppers to come in against Kenston 5-0 and what everyone marks as the battle essentially for the WRC Conference Championship, even though it's only week 6, and to beat them like this, that's a huge message to the rest of the conference from the Hilltoppers.
Drago Vujiklia, Zorn's younger brother with the carry, goes around the right side, picks up a first down.
That was a nice run too, as he did a good job to turn that corner.
And of course, the big question is next week, Ryan, what to expect in the Hilltoppers. That's about a 3-hour drive down. You get off the bus, you warm up, you play football. Well, your schedule is thrown off because you got to leave school early to do it. You don't eat at your normal time per se. So a lot of challenges await the Hilltoppers, including the New Philadelphia Quakers. Handoff left side, and fighting for some yards is Ben Pratella.
Well, you know what that will be good practice for is for the postseason. Look, we're back to after week 2. You're gonna get some long trips to neutral sites in there as you get later in the postseason. So if you're gonna be there, next week is a good warm up for that idea. And you go into a tough environment. New Philadelphia is 3-2, but they always have a big crowd down there. It's a tough environment to go down and play.
I was gonna say, we were so spoiled last year. Had to travel once for the playoffs out to Medina. That was it. And then the state championship game.
I'm a West Sider, so that game at Brunswick was actually
a little
closer for me than the trip out here is.
Hilltoppers taking a knee here. Minute 10 to go on this one. They'll take one more and this game will be over. Boy, it has been a all-around tremendous performance by Chardon tonight. We kept saying throughout the year we want to see that complete game. And it's safe to say the Hilltoppers had it just within 24 minutes of play.
I mean, tonight was it, and that's kind of the hallmark of Chardon football, right? There are many games that the Hilltoppers play that they're able to end by halftime, and they did it here tonight, and they did play a complete game. They scored in all 3. By the way, second or third time this year they've scored in all 3 phases of the game. Not the first time this year they've scored on all 3 phases of the game. That was just a dominating first half performance, and then they took care of business in the second half and get themselves to 6-0 and get themselves to number 1 in Division III Region 9.
Well, the Hilltoppers victorious tonight, 49-0 in front of a crowd of, I don't know, what do you think, like 6,500, 7,000?
It was max capacity for sure. I mean, people were standing 3 deep along the fence here tonight.
So tremendous crowd tonight here at Chardon Memorial rooting on the Hilltoppers. And certainly paved the way at Chardon, 49-0 winners. Folks, we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we will have some audio and some visual for you as we hear what the coaches have to say as they address the team.
something here, fellas. Now, the schedule's going to get dicey here. We got a long road trip. Trey, we got donuts tomorrow, right? Yeah. Trey, where you at? All right, that was his call. I got you. Oh, fine. Fellas, I'm really proud of you. This is a rivalry game. I think we create a hostility all week long. We had a great weekly practice. We're going to do it again. We're going out of New Philly. Probably wants a little bit of redemption from last year, right? I don't know who should break it down. Great job tonight, O-line. Great job.
So there you go, Mitch Hewitt addressing the team is, again, boy, he talked about that offensive line and having a great performance tonight.
Yeah, great job by the offensive line. Again, we talked about at the beginning of the game with Rodriguez coming back, get yourself a little bit of reinforcement on that line, and they came out and they looked excellent tonight. And I loved what Coach said to his players too. If you're not a believer in what this team can do, you better get on board. And yeah, I mean, they beat Kenston tonight 49-0. This is a really good football team once again this year.
Absolutely. Huge win by the Hilltoppers, and it came at a good time because they will retain first place of the WRC. It sets them up for a showdown with South later on in the year in Week 9 for the conference title. Keep that in mind because next week is a non-conference game in winless Madison at home in Week 8. Folks, do want to send a thank you out to our cameraman tonight, Chris Graw, also to Spencer, our director, Brian Foster, and executive producer, Dave Jevnikar. On behalf of my partner, Ryan Radke, I am Matt Jaworski. Heck, on behalf of all the rest, we wish you all the best. 49-0, Toppers win.